The History of Baseball Video Games Volume 2. Games with Personality. Baseball is America's pastime, steeped in traditions that date as far back as the Civil War. But the on-field action at a big league ball game isn't always as colorful and full of personality as the players themselves, and a multitude of baseball video games released over the decades aim to mirror the real thing. And then there are games like Super Mega Baseball 3, the latest in the series from Metalhead Software. Super Mega Baseball mixes arcade-style visuals with a sophisticated baseball simulation to spice things up, with unique team names and ballparks for added flavor. Critics have lauded the series' first two releases in 2014 and 2018. The new game features good old-fashioned taunting the opponent, plenty of angry broken and tossed bats, and even a beanball to the helmet that spins and topples a hapless hitter. You won't find these flourishes of color in officially licensed Major League Baseball games these days, but plenty of digital representations of action on the diamond have, in the past, taken the sport to silly, light, and even bizarre places. Metalhead Software credits Baseball Stars for NES as the closest thing to a spiritual ancestor of Super Mega Baseball. As far back as 1989, gamers could create and save custom teams stored on an innovative battery backup. Baseball Stars, which like most of its peers lack the MLB or MLBPA license, regularly makes the cut on all-time best NES games lists. Looking back, most of the late 80s console baseball games have their own quaint charm, but it was 1988's Reggie Jackson Baseball for the Sega Master System that took it a step further, with the unusual inclusion of cheerleaders. But the big difference maker was 8-bit benches clearing brawls after beanballs. Baseball Simulator 1000 brought arcade-style elements to the baseball game equation in 1990. This NES title allowed pitchers to do wild things, like make a pitch stop midway between the mound and home plate. Plus, one of the ballparks was in space. Space! A year later, the Super NES sequel, Super Baseball Simulator 1000, carried its unique brand of digitized baseball to the next gen of consoles. Not to be outdone, 1991's Base Wars took concepts from way out of left field to create a completely unique baseball experience on NES. Players were replaced with robots shaped like tanks and other machines. Pitchers fired towards the plate Mega Man style from an arm cannon. Close plays in Base Wars were decided by fast-paced, close-quarters brawls with guns and health meters. Super Baseball 2020 kept the spirit of futuristic-styled baseball alive for Sega Genesis and SNES in 1993. Robots and humans, both men and women, utilized jetpacks and other crazy equipment. Many of the rules were altered, such as homers only counting in a small section of the outfield. Oh, and landmines called crackers would pop up all over the field between innings, except on SNES. The beloved Backyard Baseball series went in the other direction to stand out, creating a kid-friendly, inclusive, and charming baseball experience. The first sequel in 2001 added real MLB players as kid versions of themselves, as well as power-ups to the sandlot action. Going opposite field from Backyard Baseball, NBA Jam and NFL Blitz publisher Midway Games introduced its on-brand MLB Slugfest series between 2003 and 2006. Base runners and fielders could punch one another on the base paths while cackling at the off-the-wall commentary. It's stunning MLB licensed such a game to begin with. That was the last we saw of such raucous baseball video games. Most arcade-like alternatives offered a more broad appeal, such as 2005 Mario Superstar Baseball for GameCube and its 2008 Wii sequel, Super Mario Sluggers. Players created lineups from Nintendo staple characters, with silly team names, like the Wario Garlics. It added unique flourishes, such as DK using a big old boxing glove in lieu of a bat. The Wii makes a lot of sense as a home run for baseball video games, as the Wii Sports Baseball mode proved in 2006. Swinging with Wiimote motion controls is a no-brainer, and user-created Miis all across the field ensured a cutesy feel to the diamond action. Speaking of cuteness at the ballpark, real-life major leaguers don't get much more adorable than in 2007's MLB Power Pros. Found on PS2 and Wii, the action feels more sim-style than arcadey, but this game, and its 2008 sequel, allows the visuals to let a solid game stand out from the crowd. Arcade-style baseball's last stand came with 2007's The Bigs and its 2009 sequel for Xbox 360. PlayStation 3 and Wii stayed more true to the game than, say, MLB Slugfest. It sported the official MLB license and real players, but turbo gauges, powered-up pitches, and blasts ensured this would not be confused with a sim such as MLB The Show. And then there's 2011's Nicktoons MLB for Xbox 360 and Wii, the title of which gives it all away. It offered the unlikely mix of actual big leaguers mingling with SpongeBob SquarePants. Super Mega Baseball 3 carries the torch for non-traditional baseball video game experiences and is now available on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Steam.